the Cuddle sickness. Dr. Wei Function paused just outside of a patient room, his eyes furiously scanning a chart held in front of his face by his magical aura. No way, he muttered, his gaze floundering back and forth even faster over the page. Wei, a nearby, gray-coated nurse nodded. See for yourself. He glared skeptically at her for a moment, before starting the patient chart in his white coat and returning the room. Hello, he called, walking through a short hallway and into a patient room. A large white alcon lay on the bed inside, struggling fruitlessly against a security pony and two stallion order lines holding her down. Your Highness, my name is Dr. Function. Can you tell me what brought you into the hospital? Princess Celestia stopped struggling against the strong hooves, pinning her against the mattress, and smiled softly at the doctor. Oh my, acute doctor, you look soft. Wei Function blushed and scratched up his nozzle. Clearing his throat, he continued. Well, yes, I guess. I heard that you've been trying to cuddle ponies all day. Is that true? Uh-huh, she declared with a wide grin. I got to cuddle lots of my lovely subjects in the hospital. A cold silver ran down the physician's spine as he shined a pin light into the princess's eyes to check her pupils. No signs of a drug use. Odd, he muttered quickly to himself. Okay, Your Highness, I'm going to check your heart now. Princess Celestia giggled and wiggled her eyebrows as he pulled out his stethoscope. You're already making my heart beat fast, she sniggered, puffing out her floofy barrel. As soon as the stethoscope touched her coat, Princess Celestia's horn filled with a powerful golden magic, shooting the order lines back against the room walls. Immediately, Princess Celestia's hooves wrapped around Dr. Function's neck and pulled him tightly into her coat. Her wings unfurled and enveloped him even deeper not long after. Wei Function's muff screamed echoed through the room. The order line stumbled quickly to the hooves and scrambled back over to pray the doctor free. Princess Celestia hummed in ecstasy. You're so warm. Standing behind a two-way mirror, Princess Luna trotted as she observes the pitiful, withering form of her sister, strapped to a bed in her chambers. Luna's frown deepened as Celestia's hooves reached fruitlessly towards the pair of guards standing at attention at the doors. Pathetic, she growled, glaring down at her afflicted sibling from the shadows. What in Ecclesia has happened to you, sister? The door to the observation room opened, and an orange-maned, haggard-looking young stallion stumbled inside. Your Highness, he grunted in greeting. About time, Princess Luna growled. I requested your presence hours ago. Fee-seeker, are all members of your profession this disguised? Dr. Function, who had unfortunately had some past contact with the princesses in the past, rolled his eyes. Yeah, and we have bad hoof lighting too. Sorry I'm late, but I was dealing with the damage your sister left at the hospital. She found her way into the ICU and snuggled the daylights out of a patient on a ventilator. Is everything okay? Besides the ARDS in the 3 episodes of cardiac arrest, yes, the patient's doing just fine. Luna exhaled and pressed an adorned hoof to a barrier in relief. Well, thank goodness no pony got hurt. Dr. Function scrunched his nozzle up, but was unable to bring himself to speak. What do you find out about Celestia's condition? She continued. Well, he began, approaching the mirror to gaze through. It wasn't easy. A search through the Natural Archive Network led me to the castle library where Luna rolled her hoof in the air, arguing him to get to the point. It's only to the oldest lecture, but it's a disease known as amplexus infirmitate. It appears to affect only alcorns. 4 cases are recorded, and one of those was Princess Celestia herself, more than 300 years ago. What causes this foul illness? Dr. Function scrunched his muzzle up again, even harder this time. Well, probably a virus? Yuna frowned at him. You don't have any idea, do you? No, we, don't run into this thing that often at the Canterlot clinic. Yuna groaned. Alright then, what is the cure? We cannot run the kingdom of Celestia for longer than a few days. The doctor hummed in dissatisfaction. There is no cure, proceed. No salves or tonics. They don't have modern medicine at the time of these case reports, mind you, were effective. The only thing that seemed to do any good was to just sort of let them go and cuddle. Really? You let them go and fulfill those strange desires? She gaggled. Wave Function shrugged. It seems to eventually end the illness. Again, we're not going off a lot of information, but it appears to be the best option. Yuna pressed her lips and hummed. I think we don't have any other option. Thankfully, I shall be able to find a volunteer promptly. Where are we going, Captain? I'm so glad you volunteered for this mission. Clint. The bad-boy male in charge grinned at our subordinate. You might be a day guard, but let me know if you want to transfer to the night guard. Still point. The young grunt hopped sharply along near the captain, zigzagging around a corner in the castle with her. That's great, but I wish I knew what I volunteered for. A special assignment, the captain responded. From his position behind her, Steelpoint couldn't see her sharp fangs gleaming in a wicked smile. I'm so glad one of you day guards was awake for this special assignment Princess Luna has. The duo halted in front of Princess Celestia's chambers. 3 sets of guards stood outside of the door, eyeing the newcomers tirely. Princess Celestia's room? What's with all the guards? Slowly, one of the double doors swung open, and a pair of guards quickly emerged from inside, taking position next to the brethren in the hallway. With a hard smack on the flank, the night guard captain ushered Steelpoint through the doors. Before they shut again, he got a glimpse of his supporter's face, this time with wicked smile, flames, and awe. Frowning, Steelpoint rubbed his ear end and readjusted the golden helmet on his head. He turned back towards the center of the room and noticed Princess Celestia tied securely to her bed, looking at him with a hungry focus. Steelpoint's pupils grew to a massive size as he froze in place, not sure of what to do next as his mind slowly processed the scenario. Remove your armor, a masculine voice sounded over a buzzing intercom. Steelpoint narrowed his eyes. Who are you? What's going on? Just take off your armor. This is part of the assignment. Don't worry, I'm a doctor. I promise you're safe. Well, maybe not safe, but you're not in any lethal danger. A doctor? Can you take a look at this mall for me? Steelpoint lifted up one of his back legs and pointed his wheel towards the strange mirrors on one side of the room. It's like different colors, and I think it might be getting a little bigger. Just take off the armor, dude, the voice insisted. I'll take a look later. Alright, Steelpoint groaned, uncapsing his golden back plates and laying them clank to the ground. If I can ask a question, since when did the Royal Guard install these two-way mirrors in Princess Celestia's bedroom? Ask no further questions, page. A voice that Steelpoint quickly identified as Princess Luna's echoed through the intercom. Do as you are told. With Luna's cutting orders, Steelpoint's gear remover took an additional sense of urgency. All done, Your Highness. What do I do? Approach the subject. The mirror score voice came again. Patient. Princess. Steelpoint swallowed and took a few tentative steps towards the bed. A deep sense of dread began to well up in his chest. Something was undoubtedly very, very wrong. Hey, I know you, Princess Celestia chirped, her body wincing against her enchanted restraints as she tried to get free. You're one of my gods. I never noticed how warm and fluffy you look. She half drooled as she stared. The hunger in her gaze only became more pronounced. The god looked helplessly towards the mirrors, silently wishing for some much-needed guidance. Kenneth Steelpoint, you will be an integral part of my sister's return to health. Yuna blared through the room's sound system. Do not be alarmed. The enchanted restraints were released, and suddenly everything around Steelpoint became warm, white, and fuzzy. After struggling for a few moments, a gray field spread across his vision, and he lost consciousness. Day 1. Steelpoint gasped and awoke to an ornate room, dimly lit by a few rays of the morning, sun streaming in from between what appeared to be dark curtains. Sighing, Steelpoint sat up and was promptly yanked back down onto something beaming and very, very fluffy. There he is, a smooth, waggle voice called from only a few inches away. Good morning, dear. Before he could respond, a muzzle pressed itself into the side of his face and roughly nuzzled him. He squealed in surprise. What? The voice hummed into his ear, her gold Ordon hooves guiding over his tummy. I wish I knew how huggable you were. I would have made sure that you were assigned guard duty for my chambers. Steelpoint cranked his neck up. Princess Celestia, the blushing face of Ecclesia's eldest ruler, smiled back down at him. That's me, hi, unfurling her long reins. She wrapped them snugly around his body. What's your name, cutie? I'm sorry that I don't remember. Steelpoint's body began to heat up as he wiggled. Finding he could barely move his body breath the feathering embrace. I'm, Steelpoint. Oh, so macho, she giggled, running a hoof up to squeeze his forehead. We are going to get snuggled like you can't imagine. A little help? Steelpoint offered to anyone that might be near enough to heal. The intercom buzzed to life again. Princess Celestia is sick, and she needs some point to cuddle in order to recover, the mysterious doctor explained. As I recall, you volunteered. I didn't know what I was volunteering for, came the imitate protest. Just relax, I don't know how long this will take, but it will probably be less than a month. A month? Steelpoint groaned, capsuling deeper into his pony cocoon. Can I at least use the bathroom? Oh, I'll come with, chirped Celestia, hopping out of the bed with one foreleg just holding her new cuddled buddy. She dragged him towards her attached bathroom, her back hooves dragging on the ground. Hey, stop. You can't come in with me. Oh, don't be silly. Of course I'm coming in with you. Day 2. Steelpoint lay on his side. Princess Celestia's hips pressed against his from behind and her forehooves fondling his tummy and barrier. I'm so bored, he groaned, startling the princess. Oh, I'm sorry, she cooed into his ear. I noticed you weren't very into our little snuggle session. Tell you what, let's change positions. Celestia quickly rose to her hooves and rolled her guard from his side onto his back. Startled, he flinched and drew his hooves over himself in a vain shield. No, please, The princess hopped slightly, pulling her hooves away from the mattress and allowing her weight to naturally fall down on Steelpoint, crunching him against the bed. She ignored his moans of discomfort as she happily rubbed her stomach and chest foof against him, grinding their coats together. Ah, a change of perspective is always refreshing. Steelpoint, after a moment's effort, managed to snake his head out from under Celestia and burst forth into the room's air again, taking a number of deep breaths. Your Highness, is this really necessary? She gasped in surprise. It absolutely is. I have an overwhelming, indefatigable need to feel a pony pressed against me. Punctuating her statement, she wrapped her hooves around his neck and pressed his face forcefully into her chest floof. He struggled for a moment before simply going limp. Defeated, he wrapped his forehooves around her torso and hugged her. Day 5. Inside the mysterious secret room attached to Celestia's quarters, a disheveled, unshaven Dr. Wei Function stared at the ceiling, his mouth agape in boredom and sleep deprivation. Suddenly, the door to the room slammed open as Princess Luna stomped angrily inside. The doctor didn't move. "Are you not ashamed to be slacking on the job?" Luna accused, frowning deeply. "We are not paying you to stare at the ceiling. You're not paying me at all," he muttered. "Exactly, and therefore are not paying you to stare at the ceiling. I thought that you practitioners of the medical art were supposed to be smart." Dr. Function wiggily raised a purple hoof to point through the two-way meal. "They don't need consent observation. She's just been aggressively spooning him for the last 16 hours. Pouting, Yuna considered his statement. "Very well. I suppose you're at least at your station." Using her magic, she rolled over an office chair and took a seat next to the doctor in front of a small control panel. "Have the treatments been making any progress? I haven't seen any change in the patient's disposition, although I can't be sure without a flow bird woke up." Groaning, he looked forward and rubbed his eyes with his forehooves. "Sorry for being a little out of it. I'm used to 26-hour call shifts, but this whole experience is new to me." "Fell asleep and I shall visit you with night terrors," she quickly threatened. "What of the guard? Is his constitution falling under Sister's constant assault?" "He's struggling a little, to be honest," he answered, casting a sympathetic glance over at the pony being fondled by Celestia. "I think we should switch him out for some pony else soon." "Nonsense. We only allow the toughest ponies into the guard. If he dies, it is his own failing." Dr. Function pressed his lips, then narrowed his eyes. "Wait a second. You're Celestia's sister, and a powerful Alicorn yourself. Why aren't you the one cuddling her?" Yuna clopped her hooves together. "It's because I, do not know how to cuddle." "Yes, that will suffice. You don't know how to cuddle? Really?" Princess Luna's eyes swiftly darted back and forth across the room in a rather suspicious manner. "I have no idea," she lied, her muzzle scrunching up. Day 7. Steel Point winced as Princess Celestia continued to pepper his face with kisses. The days, hours, and minutes of this ordeal had all blended together. He spent in short segments of under an hour, only when he could, and at all times kept his lungs well oxygenated. Lest he be shoved into fluff or flank and be suffocated. Above all, he simply felt dirty, as a week pressed against each other without bathing had led to the thickening and mingling of his and Celestia's scents together in a thick fog that seemed to persist throughout the whole bedroom. I can't help how holdable you are," she cried, her magical tail wrapped around him, tying his body against hers in a flinch that gave him a little hope of escape. In the haze of Steel Point's mind, a sudden pinprick of light poked through, and his eyes widened with hope. Your Highness," he asked cautiously. "Yes, my little munchkin wuction." Steel Point placed his hooves on the key mark in an attempt to curry favor. "Could we spoon with me as the big spoon?" Princess Celestia squealed in delight. "Yes, 10 million times yes." "Oh, I am so excited." She rolled over her side quickly, exposing her back towards him. Immediately, Steel Point leaped from the bed, his now weakened legs barely being able to sustain the impact of his landing. He charged towards the door in a bid to make his escape. He charged, and charged. His eyes widened. Steelpoint looked downward to find that his whole body was suspended in the air by Celestia's magic. Flying through the air back to the bed, he slammed into the mattress and found his limbs magically compelled to wrap around Celestia. Cozy, she purred as she used her magic to mash her guards into her back. Day 11. Steelpoint awakened with a start, realizing that something was wrong. Looking around Celestia's dark chambers, he realized that he was feeling pretty good, almost as if he was well rested. He looked upward to find he was laying against the chest of Princess Celestia as she dozed, her hooves gently holding him. Something warm stirred inside his heart for the first time since he had entered the princess' chambers many days before. Gently, he placed his head back down on a barrier. Something was strange. He felt relaxed. Princess Celestia? She stoned softly, winningly. Princess? She opened her eyes and smiled softly down at the god. Good morning, Steelpoint. I feel good. You must have let me sleep. Yawning, Celestia tightened her grip on him. I guess I feel asleep myself. I'm feeling good myself, but a little confused for some reason. Raising a shaking hoof in her mane, Steelpoint brushed it between one of her ears. While we keep coloring, do you want to talk? Meanwhile, in the observation room, Dr. Function had shot up from his chair. Holy shit, that's a change in neurological status. Yuna, are you seeing this? We stepped out of styrofoam cups, she complained from the other side of the room. She opted instead to bring the coffee pot directly to her lips. Day 14. Sitting side by side with their flanks touching, Princess Celestia and Steelpoint waited in silence on the bed. Obnoxiously, she clopped her forehooves together. I don't know what came over me, to be honest. I still want to cuddle badly, but for a while I couldn't even control myself. Steelpoint reached over with a hoof and wrapped it around one of hers. It's okay, Your Highness, he reassured, resting his head against her. You were sick, remember? Do you need this to get better? Celestia sat quietly for a moment, pondering something. Do you think that maybe in the future we could cuddle, even if I'm not sick? Steelpoint nuzzled her soft coat, and then cranked his head back to look into her eyes. He smiled. I think the doors to Celestia's chamber swung open, and Dr. Function entered, Luna following along. Yes, who is the greatest physician on this side of Minnesota? It's me! Skipping up to the bed, he leaned forward to sight Celestia with an analytical gaze. Princess, I'm going to have to interview you. This is the only case of this illness in modern times, and I can publish a case report in one of the top journals. Princess Luna used her magic to grasp the doctor's tail and pulled him away from the bed. Yes, well, the important thing is that sister is all better and can get back to actually running the country. After all, she and this guard got a nice little vacation. If only I could take 2 weeks off and lounge around in bed coloring all day. Having recovered, Dr. Function spoke up. Yeah, can you imagine? 2 weeks of sick leave without feeling ill in the transitional sense, and you just get to snuggle up in the warm embrace of some pony, sleeping and just like whispering sweet nothings. And Wave Function and Luna shared a brief glance. Then they looked at Celestia and Steelpoint, still sealed on the bed, then back to each other. Doctor, I am feeling a great condition of malaise suddenly fall upon me, Yuna remarked. His eyes widened with an understanding. He scurried over to her. Could you describe the sensation to me? I'm feeling extremely affectionate and aggressive for what appears to be no reason, and certainly not on the basis of any form of solid self-interest. In fact, I am feeling that I would make physical contact with you in a strange situation. With that, she clambered onto Dr. Function's back, wrapping her hooves around his neck and nuzzling into his mane. "Oh, no," he gasps. "It's happening again. I'll have to, quarantine her. My room is around the corner on the left," directed with a hoof. "Just change the sheets, thick, fluffy comforters. I hope you like it cold." Stumbling slightly onto the way of the slightly larger princess, he followed her directions out of the room, the other ruler and the loyal guard watching curiously as they left.